Okay, can you all see it?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like we are live. So thanks for joining, everyone. Sorry for those difficulties. Yes, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. So I'm Robinson. I'm hosting this Ask Me Anything. Is that candidate list up to date? Looks like it. So go ahead, candidates, and introduce yourselves.
Okay, I guess I can start because I'm the first one. I'm Grace Lefebure, and I'm currently our president of SWE PNW, and I'm running for president again.
I'm Elaine Reeves, and I am one of the current section reps, and I'm running for president-elect.
I'm Erin Kiselica, and I will be running for secretary.
I'm Marina, and I'm running for secretary and VP of professional development.
And I'm Theresa Krack. I am currently one of the section reps, and I am running for the section rep position again.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. So at this point, I would say let's just go ahead and jump into the questions we've got. Kat, the other host, and I have put together a list of just 4 questions that we'll ask the candidates at all of the Ask Me Anything events that we're going to have. So you get the same questions. And the first one is pretty straightforward. We would like to know why you are running for the position you are running for. So feel free to just jump in and answer. We can go through the list, or if you want to change it up so it's not always Grace going first, that's okay too. But for this first one, Grace, go for it.
Okay. So I'm running for president again because over the past couple of years working with SWE PNW, I've seen a lot of things and seen a lot of areas for improvement. And so I'm just hoping to continue the work that I started this year and hopefully just help us help improve the overall health of the organization.
Great. Elaine, how about you?
Hi. So I'm running for president. I keep wanting to say vice president, but I'm running for president-elect because I've been a section rep for 2 years, and I was actually in the PD role in my previous SWE life in Minnesota. And I really am just a big advocate for women in engineering and us all supporting each other. And like Grace said, I really want to keep supporting our section to make it bigger and better, brighter, help not only make next year better, but set us up for a better future, a more consistent future for those that step into any of these roles.
Great. Erin.
Cool. So I am running for secretary because, importantly, I have good organization skills. I'm taking even notes on this meeting. And in general, I've been part of SWE for a long time, but haven't been as involved in SWE PNW yet. I was a section rep back in Philadelphia, and I thought this would be a great way to share some of those learnings and start to get a good idea of what all of the different roles here are.
Marina, you're up.
Okay. So I've been involved in SWE for several years, and I joined SWE PNW less than a year ago, but I've really enjoyed getting involved with the section through committee activities, and I really want to continue to be more involved by taking on an officer role. I really love how SWE PNW has helped me to try new things and meet a lot of people and also develop professional skills in a way that you can't always do in the job you're in. So I want to help create those opportunities for other women engineers and enrich opportunities for our members.
Great. And then Theresa, can you finish up this question?
All right, so this is Theresa, and I'm running for section rep. I've done the section rep position for the last 2 fiscal years, and part of why I wanted to run for this year is that it's going to be the last year of section rep. With the governance changes that are going on, there's a lot of moving parts within the society level, especially with the regions going away at the end of the fiscal year 2018. And I think that it's critical sort of to have somebody who's been involved in the role and been kind of participating in a lot of the stuff that's been going on and has that awareness to be able to not only communicate that information down to the section, but take the section's concerns back up to the region meetings and the society meetings at the conferences, because this is setting the vision at the society level for how our organization is going forward. And I really want to help SWE PNW have a voice in those discussions.
Okay, great. Thanks everyone for answering question 1. I don't think that we have anyone watching right now, so we'll just go into the next question. But if anyone starts watching, feel free to just speak up and I guess type your question over and we'll get it answered. So the next question is, how do you think SWE PNW can improve, and what specifically are you planning to do in your role to improve it? So let's start in the middle. So Erin, do you want to start off answering this one?
I guess I can.
And I can repeat the question at any time.
So I think one of the main challenges for SWE PNW is that we have 2 different centers of our group. There's a lot of people in Seattle and then a lot of people up north and on the east side. So I'd like to see a little bit more work in that area, and hopefully since Secretary has a lot to do with organizing how things work within the section, I'll be able to bring some different ideas there that's similar to what I experienced in Philadelphia, so we can come up with ideas there.
Great. Okay, so then we can keep going through the list. So Marina, what about you? How do you think SWE PNW can improve, and what will you do to improve it?
I also was going to comment on making the locations of events accessible for everyone. Like we all know, commuting around Seattle is really challenging, especially for the after work events. So setting up things that maybe having standard events that rotate throughout different locations, things like happy hours or book clubs that could be sometimes in North Seattle, sometimes in South Seattle, sometimes on the east side, to make events more accessible for everyone. I also think the virtual events have been helping to engage more members. Another thing I think would help improve is to survey our members and find out what events or they're looking for, or to find out what kinds of things they want to do or improve, or what they want out of SWE, and then customizing the events to match those.
Okay, great. Thank you. Theresa, how about you?
So I think one of the things we struggle with as a section is quantifying our member engagement and sustaining member engagement. We have a very large population of members, but not always engaging. And I think that part of what I want to continue to focus on is building those online tools for interaction, whether it's forums or groups so that people can interact in between the events, but also offering more online events for our members so that they can not only participate in an online without having to go through traffic, but where appropriate, doing things like what we're doing today, where we're recording it so that we can have replays, so that section members who aren't always able to attend live time can go back and look at what we've offered and still get value out of their membership and out of the section by watching the replays and connecting and engaging that way.
Very cool. Let's circle back around to Grace.
Okay. So one of the things that I've noticed working with this organization is that I feel like we're constantly fighting fires and focusing on short term, and I want to expand that and more think about the long term. And so for the past year, I worked on helping develop succession plans and things like that that help the longevity of the organization. And so I want to continue doing things like that so that, just so that we have an easier transitions from year to year. And also along the same lines, the positions right now, like we have only a few elected positions, but then we have a lot of appointed positions, but we haven't seen a lot of interest in those. And so I'd like to try to bring more people in at the leadership level into appointed positions to help spread the work out, so that any one person isn't too overwhelmed at one time. And so it's more fun, and the leaders are focused on their responsibilities rather than having to manage many different things.
Thanks. And then I think last and certainly not least, Elaine.
So my biggest thing, another kind of hat I've been wearing the last 2 years, is college relations that I plan on continuing wearing at least this next year, and then hopefully passing that on to someone else, is just kind of assisting with member engagement and retention of our members. We have a fair amount of people who... I love positive feedback. So just...
Go ahead.
Okay.
I think I fixed it.
I also have dogs in the background, so I apologize.
No problem.
They're a little excited about getting bathed. So just kind of assisting even with the student members in our section and helping them transition from school to being a professional and utilizing the group for that. Because if we can help the younger generation with that, and not to say that any of us are of the older generation either, but if we can help others with that, like, then we know sometimes you just need to hear it yourself. If you're saying it to a student, it's like that same advice.
Okay, great. And it looks like we got another candidate added in. Hello.
Hi.
So sorry, we were having a few technical difficulties in the beginning. But welcome, glad you're here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for anyone who's watching online, and then I can ask you the first couple of questions, and then you'll be all cut.
Okay.
Sound good?
Hi, I'm Sherrie Rippe. I've been a member of the SWE PNW section for 9 years now. During that time, I served as secretary and membership chair and as section rep, and then I took a break for the last 2 years so I could do other board duties. I serve on another board for the North Seattle College to help with their scholarship fundraising efforts. And I've been talking with Suzanne Hakem for 2 years about the treasurer position, so I kind of understand what we're doing and where we're trying to go, but it will definitely be a new and exciting opportunity for me. Is that good enough?
That was perfect. So the first question that everyone has already answered, so I'll just ask you, is why are you running? And you kind of touched on that, but go from there.
I think I'm looking for a new challenge, and I think the treasurer position is one that I haven't held before, and I know that it has a lot of different details that play into it, and I'm getting experience from other boards doing similar things, so I felt that taking the time to do it now would be a great opportunity, especially since Suzanne is still around to ask questions of. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And then the second question that everyone just finished up answering, sorry to put you on the spot like this, is how do you think SWE PNW can improve, and what will you do to improve it in your role?
I think as a section, at least the way I see things is we need to get the events out better. I feel that we have a huge nest egg of money and we tend to try not to use it. And we do have a lot of members that are searching for jobs or just cannot afford to attend professional development events. So I feel that if we offer discounts to those members and we offset the cost, that would be something that could be beneficial for some members. I think growing to actually see what the upper echelons of our region actually want, because our region reaches as far north as Canada, so we don't really know, we don't get a feel of what those members are really looking for. out of their events. So I feel maybe we should do more virtual events. I don't know if that's possible, or ones that have webcasts so that they can join in. That's my sense.
Great. And I'm going to take a moment to add your name to the list here so that we're not just forgetting you. Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, so I think we're ready for the third question. Changing tack a little bit. This one is, what motivates you in SWE? So SWE overall, and then specifically SWE PNW. And let's go ahead and start with Theresa.
All right, so for SWE overall, one of the things that motivates me to stay engaged with it as an organization is that it often provides opportunities and networking that I don't get, say, in my job or in other parts of my life, whether it's getting up and being able to present or interface with people that have similar interests but maybe aren't in the same kind of job that I am. And so keeping those connections and staying active in the membership that way, and then also being able to help shape the overall organization for generations to come to make sure that it stays relevant as a society and not just, falls, to the wayside and isn't relevant for people as they progress in their career. On the PNW local side, from a purely selfish reason, it was one of the few organizations that I was connected to before I moved out to the Pacific Northwest. So I was very interested in getting to know the community and feeling connected out here in the Pacific Northwest when I originally moved. And it has been a sanity thing. Sorry, I have a cat that's climbing on something she shouldn't. It's a sanity check in terms of being able to still feel connected to a larger part of a community. So I think that covers it.
Perfect, thank you. Sherrie, how about you?
Yep. Okay. So I'm super passionate about scholarships and school being affordable. And so for me, it's the ability to donate money to a pool that can impact a larger population of women trying to get into engineering, be that, transitioning from community college to college or going to grad school. I feel that money shouldn't be a barrier to being able to impact the world. And so that's my overall national SWE mission for myself. And locally, it tends to be just so it's selfish as well. So I have things to do that I want to do and that I'm forced to leave my house. Otherwise I will not. So SWE events makes me go out and network and make sure that I'm creating that foundation so that I can continue to grow in the future as well.
Great. That's perfect. Okay, Grace, how about you? What motivates you for SWE?
Well, similarly to Theresa, when I moved here, I really didn't know anyone, and so I originally joined the organization because I wanted to meet people, and I loved the mission of the organization, and yeah, so like on a global, or so it's called, national level, or global level. Yeah, just supporting SWE's mission motivates me because I'm really passionate about supporting women in engineering. And STEM education in general. But another local motivation for me is that we live in this area that's such a technological powerhouse with all the big companies in the area, with like Boeing and Honeywell and Amazon and Blue Origin and Microsoft and all these companies that are in this area that are just so strong in the technology and engineering industries. I really want to leverage that and just try to support all the women involved in that and help connect the different industries in this area, because since there's so many.
Elaine, you might have guessed it, you're next.
Oh, sweet. So I originally joined SWE in college because my school was starting their SWE section and they needed 10 signatures. And I was a freshman, and my advisor was like, you should join. And we were actually both starting IEEE and SWE the same year, so I'm a charter member for both of those organizations at my school. And after the first year, because I'm an electrical engineer, a lot of women dropped out of the program and a lot of them switched to nursing. So that meant they were completely out of the engineering school. And so in order to have other female engineers to lean on even during school, I remained in SWE, and a lot of them were mechanical engineers. And I noticed even after I was out in industry, because my original field was so male dominated, and I just, it's just kind of nice to get out of the headspace of your work and talking to other female engineers and realizing like, oh, we all have similar issues, and kind of talking through our problems at work together and like what's worked for one person and what hasn't. So that's kind of why I stayed in it as a professional. And when I did move out here from Minnesota, I did know a few people from SWE Minnesota who have also relocated to the Seattle area and have moved up through the ranks within SWE PNW. And so they encouraged me to continue on. And I started as a section rep because I figured that'd be like a not as intense role in the group to kind of assist with what I had learned in undergrad and then in the professional section in Minnesota with how to help engage our members and help other people see SWE for how great it is.
Great, thanks. Erin.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be a little repetitive, but for me, my reasons for being involved in SWE are kind of like twofold. One is giving back. I'm really passionate about STEM education and making sure there's opportunities for young women to get into the pipeline. So I'm part of the outreach task force, and I do scholarship judging for the national level. So I feel like SWE is a really great way to spread those opportunities. And the second reason, much like everyone else, is for the community. At the national level, it lets me keep in touch with like the great women that I went to college with, people who I knew back in Philadelphia, and let me connect really quickly here. And that support for me is invaluable. I'm the only woman on my team at work, so I don't get to talk to anybody there.
Yeah. Okay. And then Marina.
So I joined SWE in college, and when I started in the organization, I was incredibly shy and I didn't know anything about networking. And what I found in SWE was a community of really supportive people who gave me the chance to grow as a leader and take on those opportunities and develop. And I don't think I'd be where I am today if I hadn't have had SWE to support me through school. And so what motivates me to stay in it is just a desire to give back and create these opportunities for other women, especially young female engineers who are just finishing school and early in their career, but then also establishing a framework that can support them throughout their entire career. And then I moved here from California and immediately wanted to get involved in SWE. And what I found in PNW was the same community of really supportive women that I found at my college section. So I was really happy to see that even though it was a completely different state, different section, professional versus collegiate, it's still the same. Like all the things I loved about SWE were still there. And it also gives me a chance to try new things that I wouldn't have tried before and to get out and meet new people. As many of you have also commented, it just provides a great community and social outlet.
Great. Okay. And then Theresa, have you seen any questions coming in?
I have not. I just did a check and there's nothing coming in on the text space yet.
Okay, then I will continue. I've got one more question for everyone, and I think we've kind of touched on this, but it'd be great to get some more of your thoughts on how do you think SWE PNW can impact the Pacific Northwest community, and how would you like to see us impacting the community at large beyond SWE? So Elaine, you want to kick us off on this one?
Sure. So let me think. So I think the way that SWE impacts the Pacific Northwest is that like a lot of us have said here, and a lot of, I think, who are demographic in the group is, a lot of people are transplants. Like, we're not really from here. And so you join SWE and other organizations, either within work or other professional ones, to kind of meet other people, kind of get a feel for the area. When I first moved out here, someone said, like, you don't really feel like you're home until you have like the specific events that you do all the time. Like, if I were to call up Theresa and be like, hey, let's get ice cream, that means we're going to Molly Moon's, you know, like that kind of a thing. So I think I would hopefully like to have more consistent events where we can kind of provide that to our members at large. I mean, it's a little bit difficult with traffic where we all kind of live and work to get to events during the work week, but just kind of making sure that we have a really good blend of events that are on like the north side, east side, the west side, weekends, online, and obviously not on the same day, but just making sure we have enough so that not only as all of us, whether we all get the positions we're running for or not, we're obviously all leaders within SWE, and just kind of making other people know that we're here to help no matter what the outcome of this election.
Great. Erin, how about you?
Yeah, I'm much on that topic actually as well. I think SWE has a big opportunity with all of the large companies in this area to really leverage across that and use that power to accomplish some really cool things. Hopefully some more great events for us, but maybe something also more in like the outreach space. And I also agree that it's a great way to bring all the people together in this region that has a lot of transplants.
Thank you. Marina.
So I think that SWE provides a great way to connect female engineers together. So maybe you're the only woman on your team, but at your company, but then you can go to SWE and still find a community of other female engineers to talk through things with or just relate to. So you have that support system if you can't find it at your current job or at your school. And then also I think our outreach efforts are really important for inspiring the next generation of female engineers and providing a bunch of role models for them. I also think something that's been exciting to see is, since all of our events are through Eventbrite, sometimes people who aren't familiar with SWE at all end up coming to our events because it'll just be recommended to them based on what they've done before. So I think that by making our events accessible to the entire community in this area in general, and not just to SWE members, we're able to educate more people about what SWE is and what SWE does and what kind of events we do, and get more people who maybe would never have heard of SWE before aware of our mission and what we do.
Theresa?
So I'm definitely going to pick up on the making our events accessible to the broader community as being one of the things that I think that we can help pay back to the community. Like this past year, we did a martial arts based self-defense, and that created a great space for our SWE members to come and learn some self-defense techniques, both physically and mentally, but also for other people to come and join. And it created that kind of, safe environment to learn and practice and ask the questions about, what do I do if I'm in this situation? And I think that that's important for us, whether it's about self-defense or about those, challenging issues you see at work, or those challenging things that you see in terms of wanting to do skills development. Providing those spaces for people to come and ask their questions and learn something, whether they're SWE members or not, just helps broaden the experience of any of the events that we do.
Great. Sherrie, how about you?
I agree with what everyone else has said, but I also feel we, as a section, need to do better with reaching into some of those big companies and figuring out what their women's groups are that already exist, so that we can promote what we're doing along with what they're already doing, or co-program, so that we can actually spread the peanut butter wider, so to speak, so that we can all use resources that we normally wouldn't have. I also agree with outreach. that's very important that we get to the, students, the younger, the better, because I mentor college students now and they have no idea like what it's going to actually take to become an engineer. And I feel like that's something that perhaps we could be the catalyst for kids as they jump into college. They already know, here's the tools I'll need to be successful starting off into an engineering career. So that's all.
And then Grace.
Okay. Yeah, Sherrie, I'm glad you brought up the leveraging the company networks, because that's something that I was going to try to focus on doing next year, is try to work with the treasurer to develop some sort of, I forget what we called it.
Prospectus, I think.
Yeah, some sort of prospectus to take to companies and say, hey, this is what organization, this is what we do, this is, we have this event coming up. Would you be willing to work with us on this specific event to help us make this event a success, not only promoting it internally, but also providing event spaces and things like that. So I think that could have a huge impact on our reach in the area. And then otherwise, I think we are already making a huge impact on our community in both professional development and outreach. For professional development, we have tons of events, and our organization is unique in that we're not specific to one technical discipline, whereas like when I go to the Puget Sound Engineering Council meetings, you'll meet representatives from other engineering groups, and they're very specific to like getting certifications in a very specific field. And so we're unique in that we're not in a specific technical field, so we have a lot more flexibility in the type of professional development events that we offer. And so we can offer those type of event or any kind of technical events, as well as unique challenges to women or education on unique challenges to women. And then otherwise, that our outreach programs as well, I think there's a lot of room for expansion in that area. Like we're already doing great work with the Explore Engineering events, where we traditionally partner with Girl Scouts. But I think if we had even more volunteers, we could easily expand that program and have a bigger reach in the outreach realm. And there's a lot more I could talk about, but I think those are the big ones right now.
That's great. Okay, so just want to say thank you, everyone. That wraps up the canned questions that I have. I'll do one quick check. Theresa, have you seen any questions come in?
I have not.
Okay. Then I will say, if everyone would like to, I guess, provide a closing statement, or just to sign off and just remind everyone who you are and what you're running for, just as a sign off. So we can just go down the list. So Grace, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm Grace, and I am running for president again. And in closing, I'll say that I'm very passionate about STEM education and promoting women in engineering. So I'd really like to continue the work that I started this year and continue improving SWE PNW's health and success in the region.
Great. Elaine.
Okay. I'm Elaine Reeves, and I'm running for president-elect. And I think this year is a really big year for not just SWE PNW, but SWE in general. So I really want to help with the transition as we move away from the regions and what that means for our group, but also make sure that make sure our members don't feel that in the day-to-day of this big event going on, and setting up our group for success in the future. And I'm very passionate as continuing as college relations chair and forming committees to probably start back up our mentoring program, at least at the collegiate level. I don't know if we have the bandwidth to go as far as from the professional level, but if people have the request for that, we can always look into that. And just making sure that we're able to engage as many people as we can and let them know that SWE's here for them.
Sorry, Derek is crawling on the floor.
I have screaming dogs in the background, so I keep moving.
All right, well, so I'm Erin Kiselica, and I'm running for secretary. And I'm just excited to bring my overall passion about STEM and women engineering and keep SWE PNW organized in all of its endeavors and make sure that we're ready going into this region transition.
Thank you, Erin.
I'm Marina Dannecker. I'm running for secretary and VP of professional development, and I would be really excited to take on either one of those roles. I think it would be a great challenge for me, and I would really enjoy the opportunity to help grow this already amazing organization and continue to put on great events.
Thank you. Theresa.
All right, this is Theresa Krack. I am running for section rep, the last time we'll have section reps. And for that role, I'm really excited to be going into the last year of section rep with the governance changes and, you know, bringing that information down to the section and then taking the section's concerns, both from members and from leaders, back up to the region and society discussions to help make sure that we're set up for success, not only for next year, but for future structure. And then also continuing on with the virtual brand role and really working to improve what we can do in the virtual space for member engagement.
Thank you.
I'm Sherrie Rippe, and I'm running for treasurer, and I'm super excited to have the opportunity to grow myself in the role as treasurer. And it's also interesting to me. I want to see how changing away from the regions affects how sections need to change how they send money to support the events that we're going to start doing as the non-region entity. So it'll be interesting to see. So I wish as well.
Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. Great answers, great discussion. I think that's all we've got for this morning. So thanks for joining. And the next, we're hoping to hold another Ask Me Anything later this week. It will be advertised. So hopefully we get another good group going. Okay.
Yeah. And good luck, everyone.
Yep, good luck.
Bye.
Thanks for moderating.
Okay.